Hi to you both. This is actually to you both at this point. How excited are you to be able to come over to the UK and play at Wembley in such an iconic stadium?
It's super exciting just to play the game that we've been playing our whole life in another country. It's gonna be crazy, and just get to introduce American football to everybody who hasn't seen it there. It's gonna be cool too.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
exactly what Khamari was saying. I think that we're all super excited for the opportunity to go and play in London at, like you said, such an iconic stadium. I think it's, like Khamari was saying, a great opportunity for us to showcase American football, especially, college football specifically, because there's really nothing like it. So
Hi, Kyson. Nice to speak to yourself. Obviously, this season is obviously the important one for yourselves. A lot of the fans over in the UK are very new to college football. What can you tell us about your game for those fans who might not have seen you play before?
Uh, I'm a very dynamic playmaker. I make plays wherever I'm at on the field. You'll see me lined up out there at receiver. You'll see me lined up in the backfield. You might see me at Wildcat. You might see me kicking the ball. No, it's just fun. But I'm gonna be everywhere on the field making plays. I pride myself on being versatile. So that's catching the ball out the backfield, being able to run really, really well in between the tackles, being able to, get those tough yards, being able to roll my shoulders down. So that's something I pride myself on, and that's something you can look forward to seeing this year on the field.
Hi, Coach. Obviously, the addition of Levick Rolls in this off-season, someone who knows Kentucky well. How much are you hoping to lean on him for information around how they play over there?
Yeah, obviously him coming from Kansas, it's not much. Like I haven't really leaned on him much at all, to be honest, from that perspective. I just want him to focus on being at Arizona State, being the best player he can be, and for him to get voted on our leadership council, only being a part of our program for 4 months, voted on by his peers. It's a pretty good testament to himself.
This is such a big opportunity for these players to be coming over to play an international game. The advantage that potentially can have when it comes to recruitment to the NFL, with that being now part and parcel of it. How much was that part of the selling point, as well as obviously the scheme you've got over there, to potential players coming on board this season?
Yeah, for me, it was just about the experience. These are 18 to 23-year-old guys, and to give them the experience for 105 guys together as a team to travel on a trip across the pond, some would say, and get to experience this in a legendary stadium. Who am I to rob that from them? And even though it's more challenging for our schedule, even though it creates way more difficulty from a logistics standpoint, who am I to rob them of that experience? And I want to give our kids experiences, not take them away.
Hi, Coach. Obviously, you mentioned there obviously about the World Cup and obviously experience. Obviously, you've seen a lot of fans from Europe and the rest of the world descend on America. How excited are you to come over and experience international fans in Wembley Stadium?
I'm fired up. I mean, I've only heard about how great the fans are, and that's why I'm saying we need those fans to be Arizona State fans, because they can bring. I mean, they'll bring in the noisemakers when they're on third down and we're on defense. Play your noisemakers as loud as you want. I mean, we should almost teach the fans how to root for Arizona State out there, so we can all get on the same page and we can root as a team.
Brilliant, thank you. And obviously, you mentioned the logistics of this, and this is something that's the first time for yourselves to do this internationally. Have you reached out to NFL teams who do this year in, year out to find out and gain any guidance?
100%. That was the advice to not fly home from Texas A&M. Reached out to people who talked about they flew out, the Wednesday before the game or the Thursday before the game in the NFL, and all the different strategies. And a lot of those teams were, they weren't as many time zones away. The West Coast teams that we talked about how they wanted to get out there early to adjust, and the flights are a little longer. So obviously we have a different dynamic than our opponent because they're in the middle of the USA. They're a home game the week before. They play on a Friday the week before, whereas we play on a Saturday, the week before on the road, getting closer to London. So all the NFL teams pretty much just said, why would you fly back 2 hours, 2-hour time change to 3 days later, 2 days later, just have to remake that up. You may as well just go from there. So took a lot of advice, I listen to people, that's, a lot of people are way smarter than me. So I just figure if I listen to the smart people, people think I'm smart. I think I've got enough people fooled so far.
Thank you very much.
Did you have another question, Gareth, with your hand raised?
Yeah. Obviously, the follow up from myself. Obviously, this is some fans will be their first time experiencing college football. Tell them why they should be a Sun Devils fan after this one.
Our guys are going to play hard. We're going to play with a passion. And that's what we want to be. We want to be a team that's fun to watch, fun to root for. You know, you can't go to a game and be neutral. You can't go and be like, oh, I'm hoping it's fun to watch. Like no. You got to pick a side, and you got to cheer when you're supposed to cheer. You got to be quiet when you're supposed to be quiet. You got to talk crap to the other team. Like, you got to pick a side when you walk into a stadium. So all I'm saying is pick our side. And when we're on defense, you cheer as loud as you can cheer. When we're on offense, unless we score a touchdown, there's no cheering. But when we're on defense, we need that place rocking. We need it loud.
Thank you very much, Coach. Good luck for the season. You mentioned the Arizona campus in London. How much are you hoping that's going to give you a bit of a jump start on international players? Obviously, getting those rugby lads, converting them to start playing American football.
Yeah, hopefully they just grow up and they see that brand and they see that logo of Arizona State, Pitchfork, Arizona State, Sparky, and they see that logo and it's like, man, how cool would that be to play at that school? And it was just something that they grew up. That was their team in the States, was Arizona State. And then, you know, when those 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds grow up and we come calling, they're like, man, this is meant to be. I remember seeing this logo all around town when I was a little kid, when I was growing up. I became an ASU fan from a distance because we were located in London, had a campus. So I think it's just, you know, hopefully through time, we just create the affinity of fans across the country and across the pond.
Obviously, you mentioned the London campus. How did that opportunity come about? Because obviously that isn't something you hear every day from a university in America to come over to the UK.
Yeah, it's a credit to our president, Dr. Michael Crow. He's got a big vision for what he's accomplished at ASU over the last 20 plus years. We're very international with our enrollment. We're very international with the presence that we have all over the globe. And we've had a relationship in London with King's College and Teddy, the institute there. And so this was really kind of a evolution of the presence that we've already had in London, bringing it under the ASU umbrella. And so I believe we start with maybe 450 students in the inaugural cohort. It's a 3-year UK accredited degree, and then the opportunity to come to the States and get a master's as a part of it. So really unique educational opportunity. It's designed for students in Europe and throughout the Middle East, and then a chance to get them over to the States on the back end for an advanced diploma here in the States. So pretty exciting opportunity, and we can't wait to get it underway here in a few months.
Obviously, fans over in the UK are very familiar with the NFL and the teams that come over year in, year out, whereas college fan bases are growing. How much are you hoping that this game will lead to thousands and thousands of new Sun Devil fans?
Yeah, well, it's a chance to introduce something different, right? And the game may be familiar because the NFL has done such a tremendous job introducing American football to fans there in England. I think you'll see a different version of it. It's in some ways a different kind of athleticism, a different kind of skill. You've got these young bodies that can make these explosive plays. We tend to be more offensive just because that's the nature of the athlete that we bring in. I do think there's an opportunity where there's an affordability around college football that could really attract a lot of young families, a lot of people that want to bring their kids into Wembley, get a chance to have an affordable family night out, and really a chance to introduce their family to American football at any level. It's very competitive. It's not quite the NFL. That's the highest level of the sport on the globe, but we feel like we've got a very entertaining, up-tempo, energetic style of football, even within American college football as well. And so I think that's a tremendous opportunity. And so for all those reasons and more, if we can spark the eye of a dozen kids that are watching us practice during the week or getting a chance to come out to Wembley and watch us compete, and maybe somebody leaves that event that night saying, I want to know more about the sport. I want to know more about the United States. I want to know more about Arizona State University. Well, then it's a worthwhile effort in our opinion.
Obviously, this day and age, with players from like the NFL Academy over in London, whereas also over in Australia. How much are you excited to see the growth of the game internationally and the availability to these players to colleges like yourselves?
Well, it's a lot of fun to look at the international presence throughout college football. We have an Australian kicker on our team this year, and that's maybe the sign of things to come, is where the more that the globalization of sport happens, and we're seeing that in the States right now. I mean, World Cup has taken over North America, and it's been fun to see kids in our neighborhood talk about they're playing soccer this fall. They can't wait to sign up. They can't wait to fall in love with the beautiful game, and it works both ways. And so we want to introduce our sports to the globe in the ways that we can. And this is a tremendous opportunity to do that. The same way that a lot of kids in North America are falling in love with your version of football right now. And so it is neat that I think social media, technology, travel, all these things that have made the globe feel smaller. You can have relationships all over the planet now. And that just gives you a chance to expose curious minds and motivated people to things that they may have not otherwise find. And so it is fun to think about. There's probably somebody that's going to be in Wembley Stadium watching this game that falls in love with American football and wants to pursue a career in it, whether that's as a player, whether that's as a coach, whether that's as an administrator. And again, we talked about it earlier, but what an incredible success story that could be.
Fantastic.